And it's this morning on Arts Avenue. A brand new play is making its world premiere right here in Milwaukee. Joining us now live, the director of First Stage's The Forgotten Girl, John Royle. John, thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. It's good to be here.
Tell us a little bit about this play and what people can expect when they come to see it.
This play is based on a book that was released in 2019 by a woman named India Hill Brown. She chose to make it about segregated cemeteries because her aunt and uncle in South Carolina are buried in a segregated cemetery that was going to be torn up because of urban renewal. So she wanted to make a story about remembering the past and being able to connect with ancestors. And also the theme about being forgotten, how it's very easy to overlook someone in life. And so that's what the piece is about. It's about two middle schoolers who find an abandoned grave and then are haunted by the young person who is buried there. She perished in a snowstorm. And so they're putting the dots together while they both are just trying to be adolescents and trying to endure a period of their life where they feel like they're been neglected and forgotten. And so that's what the story is about.
A lot of historical elements in this play. What sort of takeaways can we take from that historical side of things?
Hopefully that history is important, that it's important to go and learn, that it's important to always be in a place where you're looking to uncover. And this is a story about for what these young people are going through, what is local history. And I think that people should really, really be able to plug into local history, keep those stories alive, and never, ever bury or forget the past.
Of course, historical elements to it. What's based in real life and what is sort of, I don't want to say made up, but added to the play that we can also learn from?
I think that the ghosts are added. I think that this idea that history haunts us, I think that's added. But like I said, India Hill Brown's a great aunt and great uncle, I believe, were buried in a segregated cemetery in South Carolina. And she never stopped to think the fact that so much segregation is about, denying our connection to each other in a physical space, that segregated cemeteries were once segregated, schools were once segregated, not just in the South, but throughout the country in various different ways. And I think that's the real life history of denying our physical connections to each other as Americans that can't be taken for granted. And it's something that we need to consistently learn about, remember, and take those lessons and carry them forward.
And quickly, John, as a director personally, what do you enjoy about giving theater for young audiences?
I think that theater for young audiences, it's the most important truthful theater for the most important truthful audience. Young people have lots of feelings and they haven't learned to filter those feelings, thankfully. So they're going to tell you exactly what they think. They're going to express exactly how they feel in the moment. And all of that honesty, I think, makes for the best kind of storytelling and art making.
A perfect way to put it. John Royle, thank you so much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
And the world premiere of The Forgotten Girl is on stage right now through November 12th at the Milwaukee Youth Arts Center. You can find more information on the play on the 12 News app right now, along with links to buy tickets.